There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, now I can hear. How y'all doing out there? Everybody good? All right, look, thank y'all for coming out. We're about to have an amazing conversation about Atlanta and why Atlanta is the intersection of all things tech and culture. Just again, I'm Brandon Butler, the CEO and Executive Director of Butter ATL. If y'all heard of Butter, can you give me like a little hand? Can you raise your hand for me real quick? Good. Everybody that don't have your hands up, go ahead and take your phone out. Go and go to Instagram, butter.atl, because I need them follows. I need as many as we can get. Atlanta's culture channel, all things culture, you know what I'm saying? So we're getting ready to get in this thing. Y'all, everybody ready? Y'all ready?
Yes, let's get it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. So we're gonna start this thing off with Justin, man. Look, you the founder of Render, so we gonna get to you. Not Render Fest, it's Render, just so y'all know.
Render.
It's Render ATL, not Render Fest. There's a weird rumor going around. That's the name of it. But Justin, man, with everything going on, why did you choose Atlanta to be the home base of Render, and why is Atlanta at the intersection of culture and tech right now?
So the whole reason why we started the conference was because I was told time and time again that you cannot find qualified and a diverse engineering talent anywhere in the country. People kept on telling me this thing where I said, have you ever heard of the magical city of ATL? And every time they're like, yeah, but we don't really check it out.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you got Clark, you got Morehouse, you got Georgia Tech, you got Spelman, you got all these schools here. Why don't y'all check it out? And it's honestly because they don't understand what it means to have culture, you know? So when I started to build the conference, I said, let's have it at a place where people can actually vibe and connect and just be their own selves the whole time. And that's only happening here in ATL.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Now, big boy. Mr. Lucius Left Foot, Chico Dusty, all the names. We know all the names out here, man. Look, man, you have been all over the world.
Yes.
You've seen things some of us have never seen and will probably never seen. You've seen all kinds of cultures, experienced all these things. With all the cultures you've experienced, where does Atlanta fall as far as our culture against everybody else? Because we say Atlanta influences everything, and if anybody knows, man, you know.
Well, I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of scarce, you know what I mean? But, you know, from the starts of, I guess, the music scene, and, you know, you had Freaknik, and then when the music started growing, people just started paying attention to the lifestyle and the fashion and the food. And then when the film industry got here, then that kind of like leveled the playing field with everywhere else, you know what I'm saying? From the tax credits and to, you know, from actors, the actresses moving here, and then, they lanced on to the style and everything we was doing. I think the only thing we ain't got is legalized marijuana. That's it. That's all anybody got on us. Everything else is all us. For sure.
Before we get out of here, okay?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Hit him up, man.
I've asked him in an interview. He just said, just stay tuned. You never know how things gonna go.
Right.
So Insay, let me ask you now. So the New Georgia Project has done a ton of amazing work, you know, around the South with this whole idea of the new majority and really making sure that people are empowered to vote. How did you all use technology and culture to help get thousands of Georgians registered so that we can help get this election going in the right direction this year?
For that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So thank you for that. So one, we've registered over 600,000 Black and Brown people to vote in all 159 of Georgia's counties, right? And you pointed it out in the question that is absolutely the way that we leverage technology and that we leverage culture, that we're working to change the culture of elections, change the culture of our democracy. A lot of times people talk about Atlanta being Chocolate City and a great place to do business for Black people and to accumulate Black wealth. But there is a sort of leadership class, and people think that you just show up and vote and like that's it. And we're actually trying to win things for our family. We want to build a culture. And so we do that by working with culture workers. So we turn up on election day. The way that we do sort of our election protection, I mean, even May 24th for the primaries here in Georgia, we had eyes and ears at almost 200 polling locations. Wow. They've changed over 50 laws and trying to make it more difficult for people to vote in Georgia, particularly because there are lots of young people and people of color that are voting. The way that we leverage technology technology. We've built a number of games and apps that, again, try to do popular education in a different way. Georgia's going to be the first state in the Deep South with a white minority. And so a lot has been written about America becoming majority people of color by 2050. It's going to be 2025, 2026 in Georgia. Wow. And so what does that mean? Where Black people and people of color are the majority? What kind of power do we have? Does that automatically mean that we are going to get rid of mass shootings, we'll get rid of racism, we'll have healthcare, et cetera? So building power, a multiracial democracy is what we do, and leveraging technology helps us keep eyes and ears on the 2,000 polling locations and the bad actors who maintain our elections infrastructure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Amazing work, amazing work. Ryan, man, you down there on the end acting like you don't own the place, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to look all low key. It's cool though, man. Look, Ryan, look, man, you've helped build the gathering spot. You launched it in Atlanta. Y'all have opened up locations in DC. LA is now loading. I think it's actually open, getting ready to do some stuff. Not to mention all the connected cities, right? On top of that, y'all were just recently acquired and partnered with Greenwood. So just tell a little bit about why you think that partnership was so important to help make sure that, you know, Black tech and culture is based in Atlanta, but can also be successful anywhere.
This whole gathering spot thing would not have been possible without the city of Atlanta. Everything that we've been able to accomplish is tied back to here, right? I mean, it's the culture of the city. I mean, I showed up when I was 24 years old, back. I'm from here, but I showed back up after some time away, and the city embraced this in a way that I never could have imagined. In terms of what's next, look, we had a lot of conversations here about money, right? We program all the time, and we were always talking about access to capital and access to just financial tools and resources on a super consistent basis. After being frustrated for years about not having those tools and not being able to find the right partners a lot of the time, we just decided to become the institution ourselves, right? And so the work between TGS and Greenwood is about taking the best of what we do, which is about people and community building, and taking the best of what they do, which is about access to financial tools and making sure that our community has both at their fingertips. It's an exciting time, right? We're about to build a really, really big company.
Congratulations, man. Y'all give a hand to it, man. Again, because this is something actually Ryan and I were talking about. Like, you don't see Black companies acquired by other Black companies. Like, Ryan, just real quick, like how common is that, man?
It's not common, right? When you hear the phrase Black on Black, a lot of times that phrase doesn't end positively, right? And so I'm really proud to say that this was Black on Black M&A, right? This is us talking about and deciding that we're going to work together and, again, build a really, really big company, right? The vision for a lot of our businesses has always been large, right? But when we decide to link up with one another, and again, that's either formally or even in situations like this. I remember when I met Justin years ago, and like Render was not this. It's such a beautiful thing to see, right? But our collaborations, everybody here, we work with one another, right? That's powerful. We've got to continue to show when Black folks come together, really powerful things happen.
Absolutely, man. Isaac Hayes III, founder of Fanbase. Everybody, y'all heard Fanbase before?
Who's heard of Fanbase?
Y'all heard of Fanbase? Raise your hand.
Download it right now. Go to your app store. Go to the Apple store. Go to the Android store and download Fanbase. Logo look like this. F.
So for those who know, again, Isaac, he's the founder of Fanbase, one of the largest funds raised on Start Engine, over what was it, $2 million?
We've raised $6 million.
Oh man, I didn't mean to cut you $4 million short, bro.
$6 million.
You know what I'm saying? So you were actually, and I want to read this quote the right way, but you actually said in Atlanta Magazine, creators are literally building the apps with Black culture and never seeing credit or dividends for it. Why is ownership so important when it comes to Atlanta being the center of tech and culture?
Well, I mean, the youth culture and African-American culture are the economic engine of social media platforms, where we often see that culture appropriated and marginalized for the benefit of others other than the community itself, right? And so we have to start owning infrastructures, right? If you don't own the infrastructure, you don't have the power. We hear oftentimes people complain about I'm shadow banned, or they're suppressing my content on social media, or I'm not making any money. And so the ability for what we do at Fanbase is allow people to own their content, monetize their content, and we don't suppress content. And so in a city like Atlanta, that's exactly like what I grew up. I wouldn't have been able to build Fanbase without living in Atlanta, actually being a member of the Gathering Spot, where I learned my first foray into tech with a lot of the members here. But it's important that Atlanta continues to serve as a hub and a place where people can own their content, and actually highlight the culture that Atlanta is, because this is the epicenter of Black culture. There isn't anything funny or culturally relevant or what pops off in pop culture that primarily doesn't always come out of Atlanta, has something to do with Atlanta.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And so piggybacking off that big, you're not only an amazing artist, but you're also an entrepreneur. Can you talk a little about like when you made that switch to start focusing on ownership and how that's impacted your life? And also, we talk about generational wealth, how that's impacted your family and their ability to do great things.
Well, I was always taught to like invest in what you know what I mean? So L.A. Reid taught me that back when we signed with LaFace Records, and then invest in yourself. So when we first started as Outkast and did our first little publishing deal, got our first little publishing check for $100,000 a piece off one song, Players Ball with Chrysalis Records. We went and we bought drum machines and set up studios inside our apartments. And so that led to us, fast forward, from not producing on Southern Playlist to us producing almost the whole ATLiens album. Then fast forward past that, got into some stocks, you know what I mean? So stuff that I knew, you know what I mean? Apple when it was $40, you know what I'm saying? Like years ago, you know what I mean? Then got into the Tesla and the Netflix, and then I got into the syndicate with Chameleonaire, Kelly Rowland, and E40. We got a angel list investment group called Supreme Partners. So we started back in 2015. So we got in on Lyft and Ring before they blew, and we got over 60 companies we invested in right now that are going to be that generational wealth transfer in the years to come. You know what I'm saying? It's been 7 years and it's been popping real hard, as well as the music and everything else, man. But it's all about Atlanta, man. Everything is right here. I also got my Celebrity Trailers company here that right now we're shooting a show with A&E called RV There Yet, where we are doing customized trailers with a Black-owned company. The CEO is a Black woman. She's my partner. She used to be my assistant, Janice Faison. And we've been in business over like 10 years. And yeah, I mean, we're like a boutique company. We work with Tyler Perry and all the movie houses. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, the word on the street is you can't have a trailer on set without coming through big first.
Man, if you want a Pac-Man trailer, massage chair, fireplace, direct TV, a fire stick, yeah. It's the home away from home. Yeah. Yeah, but it's just having fun, man.
Love to hear it. So tell me, with everything going on, what's so important? What should we know about going into this new election season? We got a new governor, new opportunity for a new governor coming up.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about things that we should know going into the voting booths later on in November, so that we can get the right results coming out?
All right, I'm not gonna pretend like it's not hot out here, so let's go. Let's go. I think there are a couple of things that people need to know. One, we probably are a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks from the price of a gallon of gas being higher than the minimum wage in Georgia. The minimum wage in Georgia is $5.15 an hour. I drove by on my way here and saw $4.50, right? Like, that's a real problem. We have elected officials who are not embarrassed by that. We've been down in the state capitol, down in the state legislature trying to push for that. We are pushing for a new Georgia. I'm very excited about a multiracial democracy. I'm very excited about a reflective democracy. I'm very excited about the opportunity to give America its first Black woman governor in the 246 years that we've been experimenting with democracy. Super excited about all of that. And it means nothing if we care more about giving about access to books than we do about access to guns. And that's just real. It doesn't matter if we don't have elected officials who listen to us and listen to our priorities. It's 12 hospitals in rural Georgia that are about to close. People still having babies. People still fighting cancer. And by the way, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. In most hospitals, in most communities, the hospital is the largest employer. So we closed 12 hospitals. That's job losses all over the state. We literally had Brian Kemp is the only governor in the state of in the country that lives and works within 5 miles of the CDC. Right? And so, again, it is unacceptable to have the kind of leadership that we have right now, right? And so that is why I'm excited about the new Georgia. Georgia is a battleground state. Don't let people gas you into thinking that we're a blue state. It's a battleground state. It is America's newest swing state. And who drives the elections, who drives the priorities, it's what's called the new American majority. So that's Black folks, that's Latinos, Asian Americans, and young people. And so what people need to know is that November 8th is absolutely critical. We are talking about canceling student loan debt. The president floated a trial balloon saying, which I think about 10,000, and everybody was like, nah, fam, try again. Everybody was like, try again, right? That's what political power means. That's what Georgia means. Like, because of Georgia and because of Georgia voters, President Biden was elected and defeated the disgraced former president Donald Trump by 12,000 votes, less than 12,000 votes. That's 0.00015 percentage points. And they tried to steal it, and they're continuing to try to steal it. 9 weeks later, Georgia went back to the polls and gave us our first African-American United States Senator and a 33-year-old Jewish kid from the North Atlanta suburbs. That matters because when we're thinking about the future of work, the majority of the United States Senate was born before there were even 50 states. Right? And so if you have somebody that's thinking about the future of work, the future of our economy, technology, our environment, right? Like, it's important to have young people and representative people. So we are powerful. Georgia voters are powerful. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson would not have happened if not for Georgia voters, and the entire country knows that. And I need y'all to remember that and go vote November 8th.
You got the bar. You got the facts. You got bar. I want real quick. Don't put it down. I want to do that thing. I see it on TikTok all the time. Tell me, what's one fact about, just again, voting in Georgia that's so crazy that people are going to have to go look it up when you tell them this? Like, you got bars. Give me stuff that people would not believe. Drop a bar on.
Because in the middle of a pandemic, so many people voted from home. And one of the ways that young people and Black culture and social media culture and youth culture encouraged participation was people took selfies with their ballots. It's now a crime in Georgia. That if you take a selfie with your ballot and post it on social media, it's a crime in Georgia. And they don't have to do much. All they got to do is go to your page, and that is evidence and proof of the crime. So they're coming for us. They're coming for us as more and more people figure out, like, listen, I mean, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an artist. I'm a mother. I'm a father. Like, all of these things that make up our identity, but I'm also a voter. And it's just the thing that we do to participate in our society that is being attacked. And if we vote this November, we can change the constitution of the Georgia House. We can, it'll be this is my other fact. And then I'm gonna stop. It is only the second time in U.S. political history that two Black men have run against each other for the United States Senate. And so this fall we have Senator Warnock, who's being challenged by Herschel Walker. And I think that Black men and their political priorities and their ambitions, the hopes that they have for themselves, for their families, for their communities, are going to be on the top of mind. And I really hope that people don't fumble that conversation.
Woo! That's good. And the sun working with us a little bit. That cloud came in just in time. Ryan, man, let me ask you, man, you build communities for a living. That's what you just said with the gathering spot and everything you do. Tell me, how do you create the culture with all these different communities? Like, what do you look for and how do you create culture where you're spinning up communities in so many different places?
Well, I'm not creating anything, right? I'm listening, right? The work of TGS is to go into a community, figure out what's already a part of the secret sauce of that community, and then connect the dots. We're not trying to create anything, though, right? Like, if I look in DC, if I look in Los Angeles, if I look at all the connected cities, there are a lot of amazing people that have made TGS possible that were already doing amazing things before we ever showed up. So culture is about us, right? I mean, we're doing that work right now. It's about trying to be as responsible as we possibly can be to make sure that we're making proper introductions.
Absolutely. So Justin, let me ask you, man, we're talking about culture, but also one of the most important things, even in Atlanta being a city like it is diversity. Like, when I look out here at this crowd at Render, you got a super diverse crowd. For the folks that are out here, why is diversity so important in tech? Why is it so important to have diverse people in the room when these apps and these tools are getting built so they can service communities?
So it's important because if you don't understand who's in the room, how do you ever plan to make an impact that is going to help their lives in a better way? A lot of times I think about how I hear about teams have made some kind of code change or done some kind of update to where they didn't consider the potential impact of that potential class of people. And next thing you know, it's going viral because everybody's getting impacted. So if you want to see the change happen in tech, you got to bring around other people that don't actually look like you, so that then you can weigh in balance all of the options, not just the options that is your own, which actually then removes a bias.
Absolutely. All right, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. So I'm going to ask everybody the same last question, give y'all a chance to think about it for a second. Justin, I'm going to let you go first, since, this is your event. That way everybody else get a little time to think and they know what I'm going to ask, all right? So, Justin, what is your favorite thing about Atlanta?
I mean, truthfully speaking, my favorite thing about Atlanta is the chicken wings. I mean, I like to eat chicken wings. I like them all kind of ways. You know what I mean? So if I had to be honest, it'd be that. But if I'm being more honest, it's just the fact that you could come here from anywhere in the whole world. It doesn't really matter your background, your culture, your like race or anything, and you could actually grow here. If you plant seeds in Atlanta, they will grow because the ecosystem here wants to see you succeed all the time. So
Absolutely. And say next up, what's your favorite thing about Atlanta?
Duality, right? I think it's industry and artistry. And I love the sort of full range of Blackness. Like, I'm an African kid that grew up on the South Side, went to graduated from Atlanta Public Schools. And there are other people like me. You got somebody from West Savannah, Georgia, that is now an international superstar. I'm just saying, like, there are the entire full range of the human experience and human ambitions are all represented by people here. And you can literally sort of build the company, the brand, the experience, the family, the life you want to live as a Black person from the entire globe here in Atlanta, and I love it.
February 1st, 1975, it happened. Was born in West Savannah before I started rapping.
There he is.
I was trying not to do all
Hey, for sure.
So, Ryan, what's your favorite thing about Atlanta, man?
This is the blackest city in the world. And the ability, like, we all have built something here, right? If you think about it, if there's a through line, we all have built something here. And I don't think there's another place in the country where that's possible. I certainly can't imagine showing up anywhere, not having any experience doing anything that we've done, and have a community embrace you. So this is the biggest city that feels like a neighborhood and family that you're ever gonna find. And I think it's centered around a community that's powerful.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that, I know we're going to have a lot of people that are probably traveling in and out the city. I just want y'all to notice something. When you get back to the airport, look around. You will never see the amount of Black and brown faces at all levels of life like you will in Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson Airport. I don't care what you got to say, where you go. That shows you how beautiful and special the place Atlanta is. So just when you go to the airport, look around for a second. Then when you go home, look around. I promise you will never see the same thing that you see when you land at Hartsfield Jackson, the busiest airport in the world, like you see when you land in Atlanta. Big man, close it up, man. What is your favorite thing about Atlanta?
I think first and foremost, it's got to be the Southern hospitality. You know what I mean? The kindness, the people. It's all about the people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can go anywhere. Like, I mean, say if you go to New York, you're walking down the street, you be like, hey, shake your head and keep on walking. You know what I mean? In Atlanta, you be like, hey, mid lady. Hey, you know what I'm saying? If you say it the right way. That, and I like that you can still get that down home living. We got the beautiful trees and everything, but you also got that city and that nightlife that's thriving, that's really pushing the music and the fashion and then where they're getting all the movies, the cliches and stuff from. It's a lifestyle. Absolutely. So it's the Southern hospitality, man, and the people.
Absolutely. And if Ike was up here, he'd tell y'all his favorite thing about Atlanta is when y'all download Fanbase.
Yeah.
So again, make sure y'all download the Fanbase app. My favorite thing about Atlanta is when y'all follow
fell
Butter
out.
ATL.
I think he fell out.
He had to go do Rick Ross real quick, so he'll be back. But yo, hey, thank y'all again for this amazing panel.
Yeah.
Y'all give it up for this amazing panel.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Dave. Good shit.
And look, y'all continue to have a great time. Enjoy Render. Make sure you're sharing everything on social media. Tag folks. Let them know what's going down here in Atlanta, y'all. All right. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great one.